I'm Amber Rissman and welcome back to the Ideal Home Show channel. So today I'm going to be making one of my personal favourite Christmas recipes. It's a recipe I've had and used for years and it is absolutely foolproof. It has never done me wrong. If you're going for a Christmas night out, staff party or anything and you're wanting to bring a little present to somebody, I think this dish is someone that it's a wow. It's a crowd pleaser. It'll stop everyone in their tracks. Not only does it taste amazing, that little bit of extra effort is gonna leave everybody shocked. You are going to be the next Gordon Ramsay bringing this to your Christmas party. So I am going to be showing you how to make my Christmas white chocolate cheesecake. So to start off, you can either use store-bought gingerbread or make your own, or even just ginger nut cookies. For me, I made my own previously. What I have done though is I've made little cute wee gingerbread men to sit in the top of my cheesecake, as I'll show you later on. But instead of buying or making it like a plain sheet, I've just used some of the scraps from my gingerbread. So you'll see there's all sorts of holes and everything in here. But it just makes sense, instead of binning that or like not even using the dough, just baking absolutely everything after you've cut it. And you can get another use out of that, which is so good. So I'm going to start by blitzing this all up, popping that in here. And I think it's easier to do this stage in batches. If you cram everything in at the one time, you're going to just overwork the blender, so you're not going to get it fine. With a cheesecake, a lot of people don't put as much thought into the base as they should do. The base is so important of a good cheesecake, otherwise, I mean, really, you're just eating sweet cream cheese. I mean, I don't want that. The base is what brings the cheesecake together. It makes the cheese into a cake. So, and we're just blitzing that down into a nice fine powder. Best thing about this is, with it being wireless, whenever I'm using a blender, I'm always bringing a tail with me, getting it in all sorts of mix, and then I end up all sticky, my blender ends up all sticky, but what makes this so good is that you're not carrying around a tail. And also, if you're wanting to bring this with you, make it somewhere like on holiday, or if you're going away for Christmas, so much easier. A little bit of fresh ginger for me at this stage makes the difference. I'm going to add the rest of my cheddar scraps in, blitz that up, and we'll jump straight on to the next part. And there we go. Such a fine crumb. I think you'd struggle to get something as fine as that with any other blender, I'll tell you that much for free. And then we have ourselves a lovely, beautiful crumb. So I have my 300 grams of my biscuit trim. And if you still have more biscuit trim than that, I'd say just keep it for a little snack on your lunch break or something like that. That's what I do. So I have my 100 grams of melted butter. And in there as well, I've got 50 grams of white chocolate. This just helps to emulsify this. You can either pulse that in the microwave, as you would do with butter, or in a sauce pot, mixing it slowly. Don't leave it too long, otherwise it might burn. Learning from my experiences, the amount of times I just pop butter on the stove, because it's just butter, and turn it around and everything's about everywhere. And you either absolutely ruin it and make a mess, or you end up with a really nice nutty caramelised brown butter, which is something you could add to this as well. And now we're just mixing that up, incorporating that until we have, like, it should look like wet sand. If you need to add a little bit more butter as well, that's totally fine, a little bit less. It's all about eyeballing at this recipe. It's all about what you see, what you feel, it's using all of your senses. And I think for the base, this is definitely one you need to have a look at. So, should be a bit of a wet, sandy consistency. And here it smells of, oh, wow, it's nutty, white chocolate, and you get all those Christmassy spices. And that is just the boring biscuit base in the bottom. So, it just looks like wet sand. Get your tin and line the bottom of your tin with a little circle. So I'm going to teach you a top trick here. This is what we use in the kitchens when we're reducing a sauce or soup or stock, or make a thing called a cartouche. Some of you may know, some of you may not know what cartouche is. Cartouche is when you're simmering something down and you're helping not have a skin around the top. what you do is you get your greaseproof paper, make sure it's bigger than what you're wanting, and fold it in half, fold it in a quarter, and then fold it in a quarter again, and then in again, and again, and then you've got the base of this big line. This should be exactly in the middle, and then you should have loads of extra paper here and just snipping it there, and then you end up with a perfect circle that lines the bottom of your pastry tin perfectly. So then I'm going to add my biscuit base onto the bottom. You don't need to add all of this. Depends how big your ring is going to be. For me, I like quite a lot of biscuit. I know some people aren't as bothered by it. Some people are like, yeah, that's the best part. I think it's one of the most important parts of a cheesecake. And like I said before, it's something that people don't put enough care into. So right now, I am just smoothing that out all across the bottom, trying to make it all flat. What I think is the most important part here is that the edges are even, because that is what we're gonna see, is the edges. And if your edges are like, when you lift that cheesecake up, that's the first thing I notice when I'm having a look for a cheesecake. This recipe you can also use for smaller individual cheesecakes. I used to make these beautiful little small individual cheesecakes with rings, and exactly the same process, but instead of anything on the bottom, I'd put a little bit of baking paper around the side. That should be all lovely, compact, pressed down, and just like that is what you're wanting there. It should be not, because something you can lift like this and it won't fall and it won't all crumble like a mess, because that butter and that white chocolate is setting with the gingerbread and it's all coming together really nicely so that you're getting that firm base. So I'm going to pop that in my fridge and let's get on to the cream cheese. I have 700 grams of cream cheese here. When people make a cheesecake, they don't let their cream cheese get to room temp. They take it straight out the fridge, start whisking it, and then they wonder why it goes all clumpy. You're not letting your cream cheese room up. One of those things that so many people forget, me included. I've been guilty, but it's just something that you get to this stage and honestly I'd wait the extra 10-15 minutes. It may seem like a total pain at the time and a waste of time, but when you have that soft, silky cheesecake, you're gonna thank me. I'm gonna whisk this all up. We want this to be really nice and smooth and silky. As I've let my cream cheese room up, this is literally whipping up so lovely. It's like butter. Look at that. Wow. I think using a hand whisk is so satisfying. Look at those patterns. Wow. This one again, I absolutely love this hand whisk, because you're not sitting there with any gaudy little wire that has got any risk of going and messing up all your things. And you know, another thing as well, I feel like whenever I cook, I'm never close enough to a socket. So honestly, I saw this and was like, yep, that is a bit of me, that.
Looking for appliances you can trust to help you create more than just meals? With KitchenAid, you get more than just great tools. You get a brand that's been supporting home cooks and food lovers for over a century. So whether you're mixing dough, blending smoothies, or experimenting with new recipes, KitchenAid products are built for versatility and for lasting performance. Everything from the iconic stand mixer to blenders and food processors is designed to help you express your creativity and get consistent results every single time. And with new colours like Flutter for 2025, you can add a personal touch to your space while enjoying innovation you can count on. Click the link in the description. KitchenAid. Classic style, endless possibilities.
This stage, I'm gonna slowly, I have my icing sugar here. Just add it a little bit in. Whenever I seem to buy icing sugar, it always comes in really clumpy. So just, I don't know if that's just where I'm getting my icing sugar from, but I'd always give it a little sieve. Don't be scared of it hitting the bowl either. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. That just means you're getting absolutely all of it in, you know? So I know a lot of the time people hear that, they're like, "Wah!" No, that's a good sign. This recipe just makes me feel so festive. I'm not feeling festive enough with my wee Santa dangling down from my ear. This recipe is really great because it's not something that you've got to be so precise with. You can have a little bit of fun with it. I've added a little bit of white chocolate in here before. I've added some Baileys in at this stage before. You know, if you have something like there, you're like, yeah, that would be pretty nice. Go for it. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of vanilla. If you have fresh vanilla, honestly, 100% use that. 1 pod, scraped down. Mwah. In here I have my little spice mix. This is again something you can be a bit playful with. Gingerbread for me is cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice. For you, it doesn't need to be that. It can be a little bit of what you have in your cupboard and what your traditional, I feel like every family has a gingerbread recipe. We've got a wee secret gingerbread recipe as well that I'll maybe let you into one day, but I have a little bit ginger, allspice and cinnamon and nutmeg in here. So nutmeg as well. I sadly couldn't get a hold of any fresh nutmeg, but if you have fresh nutmeg, please use it. I'm so jealous. Just a little bit grated in makes a difference. So slowly just sip that in and we'll whisk that up again. Most important part, taste as you go. Delicious. Here we have 300 grams of double cream. Here we go. Let's whisk that up. Look at that. Wow. That's practically there already. Look at that. That was super rapid up. It should be something you should be able to stick over your heads. The fun part now. Get your little spatula and a little bit of that cream. We're going to go all around the sides and mix that in. This is the point where if you've over whipped your cream, you're going to see it because it's not going to incorporate very well. So just slowly folding that in. That's just going to keep all the air in that we've whisked from the cheesecake and the cream. It's going to slowly keep that all in, but while incorporating all this in as well. Christmas is one of my absolute favourite time of the year. It's just, even though I'm always working, it's really just so special and magical, and I think that it's one of those kind of, everybody just comes together, everyone's happier, everyone's eating it more, everyone's drinking it more, everyone's just having more fun, more relaxed, and I know it could be a crazy time of year, especially for hospitality, but it still does not take away the magic. I'm just counting down the days that I walk into my work and the Christmas tree's up. When do you think it's too early to put up a Christmas tree? I was having this argument with my boyfriend the other day and I was saying, let's put up the Christmas tree, let's put up the Christmas tree. And he was like, no, wait, it's way too early. But I don't know, it's almost December. So adding that last bit of the double cream in now. There we go. Slowly incorporating that in. So once that's all incorporated, everything should be the same colour, evenly dispersed, and I've got all the spices. You should be able to see all the spices. It should be a lovely kind of light brown colour, just as so. Let's go get our base. Perfect. So that's nice and set. Perfect. Then again, I'm not going to put this one over my head because it's got a thingy bottom, so I'm just going to end up with a sore head if I do that. But it should be totally set. The way I like to do this is the same thing again, and just kind of waves of it. There we go. Plop, straight into the middle. I really like the word plop. This little spinny guy underneath is just going to make it easier for me to evenly disperse this. I think that cheesecake's one of those things is that nobody doesn't not like a cheesecake. I don't really like cheese, but I like a cheesecake, you know? It's totally different things. And I think the only people that don't like a cheesecake are dairy intolerant people, so I want to make sure everything's really nice and flat. Get all of it, every single drop. You're not missing any of this. Waste of money, waste of ingredients, waste of time if you're not going to scrape out your bowl properly. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I see dishes in the sink and half of the mix is still in, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So let's scrape it, make it all nice and smooth. I think gingerbread is one of my favourite things to make at Christmas time. This recipe as well is put in some of my, like, I think cheesecakes and all year round things. So you could tweak this recipe as well, which is really nice. Is you don't need to make it with all these lovely spices and things like that. You could make it in summer, white chocolate and raspberries and a bit of cocoa powder and orange zest and a bit of orange juice, and then you've got a beautiful chocolate orange cheesecake. So this needs to sit in the fridge for around 4 to 6 hours, ideally overnight. Otherwise, all that hard work you've just put in, you're going to lift that up, it's either going to stick or it's all just going to pop out and you've made a mess. So it's really annoying. I'm quite patient myself, so just got to wait that couple of hours. Leave it, do this before you go to bed. Leave it in the fridge overnight, wake up and your cheesecake will be perfect. So I'm going to pop that in the fridge for 4 hours and we'll come back to it then. So we're back after 5 hours down the road. We have our cheesecake. It's been sitting in the fridge, it's been chilling, and it should be all lovely and set. At this point, we'll get a little palette knife into some hot water and just kind of run that round the side, just kind of loosening it. And if you've got a fancy schmancy little pan like me, it should just pop right out of there. I always get really nervous at this point, no matter how long it's been resting and everything. This could be the moment of truth where I just filmed a video for all you and embarrassed myself. So this is my little technique here. We'll get a little job like that and we'll just pop it up, jiggle it around, nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at that. So we've still got the baking paper on there. Don't forget to take the baking paper off. We'll take that off. Similar kind of process here. We've got our lovely base. Oh, yummy. There we go. Concentration fades. Woo! Now let's get a plate for that. Perfect. So, got a plate now. Get your warm, you can see it's a little bit rough around the edges, so your warm palette knife is just gonna help smooth that all out. And just be careful you're not pressing too hard. So this is just a little added extra. We've got some double cream there and a little bit of icing sugar. We'll slowly whisk that up, get it all incorporated. We're gonna add a little bit of vanilla. You can never go wrong with a bit much vanilla, you know? This is just gonna make our cheesecake look absolutely stunning. Cinnamon. This is our best friend with a gingerbread cheesecake. You can add in some other spices, have a bit of fun with it, but for me, I think a classic vanilla and cinnamon top would go lovely. There we go. Like I said, we can have a bit of fun with it. Not everything needs to be weighed out, you know? So we'll whisk that up. It's almost there. Like I said, this thing's absolutely rapid, so we don't need to whisk that too long. I'm actually just going to over whisk it. That's why I'm going so slowly right now. Voila. Amazing. My mum always hates when I cook at home because she always says to me, she's like, you always make such a mess, you know? But she can't complain because she ends up with some amazing cheesecake. So we'll pop that into our wee piping bag. Lovely cinnamon, soft, sweet, sugary, Christmassy. Christmassy. I was stuck between a gingerbread or candy cane cheesecake. I didn't know which one I'd rather make, but I think I've had done this recipe a million times before and it has never been bad. Get every last drop. You need to get yourself a lovely plastic spatula if you don't already have one. I've got one that says no llama drama because there's too much drama around, and you know, I love llamas. Llamas are cute. Let's paint our picture. I'm gonna grab a spoon. A little bit. This is the magic part. Just lightly dusting that. This is it snowing. It's snowing, everybody. It's snowing! Woo! I can't believe it was snowing the other week. That was actually... I'm giving you permission to make a mess here. You want to paint a picture. It's snowing! Woo! It's just a little bit, because we're going to add more. We're going to have more fun with this. You don't need to do this exactly the way I'm doing it, but I think this is how I would do it. This is how I would plate it. I think it's fun, it's cute, it's a bit whimsical, you know? And we're gonna grate a little bit of white chocolate on there as well, you know? You get snow and it lands and it's all, you know, you get the nice soft little bits and you get bigger, chunkier bits as well. So then again, we're having a little bit of white chocolate on this. All over the top. I'm gonna get my cream mix. When I'm cooking at home, I always prefer to do pastry because a lot more people will automatically see something sweet and go, oh, yes, yum, delicious. Whereas I feel like when I'm cooking something, like I'm actually cooking something, people tend to be a bit more fussy, going, oh no, I don't like cheese, or I don't like carrots, or I don't like. I'm like, just trust the process, and it's like no. Whereas people are a lot more trusting with pastry a lot of the time. Everyone pray for me. Get a spatula for this part. Don't be silly. Don't do what I'm doing. Pop it on your plate. Gonna do a little bit more. We're gonna make it a little bit more messy. We want to get rid of those sides. I quite want to cover the plate as well with icing sugar because it literally looks like there has been a snowstorm. A mad, crazy hurricane as well. I also had these super cute little silver chocolate balls that I got. And I thought they looked like snowballs. Now, I made these lovely little gingerbreads earlier on. I love making gingerbread. They're so fun. Because once they're baked, you can have so much fun with it. This is my cute little house I made earlier. So I made a little gingerbread old lady there. Look, she's so cute. She's got her glasses on. Very adorable. We've got some snowflakes as well. We can stick around the sides. We love heart there. Super cute. Then again, we cannot go wrong with a little bit more chocolate. Let's try to get it on top of the house. I made a royal icing before, which is just egg whites and icing sugar. And it's almost like you're making a meringue, but then you get a really more consistent pipe with it as well. And it's totally safe, it's totally fine to eat. And it just sets and it gets really nice and hard and crunchy. It's better than just using icing sugar and water, because whenever you pipe with icing sugar and water, it just melts. It's really hard to get those really precise lines, those really precise patterns and everything, because it's just literally falling off. Like, see these lovely ones here? That's all with a royal icing. Wow, if that's not just a winter day scene, I don't know what is. The gingerbread as well. What makes this super cool is that's the same gingerbread as your base and the bottom. So all these flavours are just going to work so well together. This is going to be something you're going to break it to a party. It's a showstopper. Everyone will stop what they're doing, put their drinks on and go, wow, perfect. So now that we have our finished cheesecake, I think the most important part is for me to dig in. If I were you, get a little plate and share it out to everybody, but I'm starving, so let's try a little bit. I mean, that is amazing. The bottom is just so light, just instantly breaks through. I mean, would you look at that? Wow, that's not a perfect cheesecake. I don't know what is. Wow, no notes there. I'd say I'm quite a picky person, but that ticks all my boxes. You really get all the lovely spices from the bottom. The top, you've got this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous garnish of a snowy picture day. Little grandma coming out of her cottage. And you get all the white chocolate. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's just something that all your guests are gonna love. I hope you guys love this as much as I do, because now I'm off to finish the lot.